All right, we're back here at the IU Natatorium in downtown Indianapolis for our continuing coverage of the 2019 NCSA Summer Swimming Championships here on the Indiana Swimming YouTube channel. And we've got coverage of the 1,500 heats, all 1,500 heats except for the fastest seeded heat of the women's 1,500 and the fastest seeded heat of the men's 1,500. Those will take place during the finals session, which starts at 5:30. And so we've got heat one of the men's 1,500 meters, which will be a 30 lap race, about ready to start here at the IU Natatorium here on the campus of IUPUI downtown Indianapolis here at the 2019 NCSA Summer Swimming Championships. And we'll give you the lane assignments here. We've got, looks like 6 swimmers here in this opening heat, men's 1,500. And we're underway. Lane assignments here in lane 1, Alexander Brodsky, 16-year-old. Lane 2 is Samuel Dinsting, a 17-year-old. Lane 3, Matthew Beeler, 14-year-old. Lane 4, Gianni Carlino, 15-year-old. Lane 5, Grafton Parlett, 16-year-old. Lane 6 is Leo Yang, 17-year-old. Lane 8, Graham Boyle, so 17-year-old. So we'll give you some periodic updates here as the race progresses. Down and back each time. This is 100 meters. So they'll down and back a total of 15 times. All right, so through 200 meters, early leader Gianni Carlino in lane 4 is your leader. He's from Point Aquatics. Meet record, by the way, for the men in the 1,500, set in 2015, 15:25:60. Olympic trials cut for the men, 15:44:89. So through 300 meters here. Opening heat for the men in the 1,500 time final. You have Gianni Carlino leading, and then second place right above him is Matthew Beeler. Matthew Beeler from Long Island Aquatic Club. And these swimmers will have different strategies. Each of these swimmers will be on their own race strategy, more than likely. Then when we get to the back half of the race, we might see some race strategies go away. Guys are close in proximity to each other. We might see a little more racing, but even though the leaders are right together at this point in time, I wouldn't think that one of the two is trying to stay with the other one. I would expect that they would just both be still on their own race strategies. So at the 500-meter mark, you got Carlino in 4, the leader. Comes through at 5. Looks like 5:28.09. Second place in lane 3, Matthew Beeler. And then a three-way battle for third here in this opening heats, lanes 1, 2, and 7. Brodsky in 1. Dienstag in 2. Dienstag in 2, and then in 7 you have Leo Yang. But this is a pretty good lead battle here in the opening 600 meters here, this heat, between Carlino in 4 and Beeler in 3. This heat's time finals, meaning any individual out of any of the heats can take the overall win and score points at this meet if the time is fast enough. So really you're racing the clock here in these 1,500-meter heats. Obviously you want to win the heat. That gives you the best opportunity to have the best time in each heat, but it is racing the clock, really. .700-meter mark now, as Carlino goes through that at 7:40.96. Beeler's actually who's in second in lane 3, is actually about 3/100ths of a second quicker on that last 50. And those two swimmers out in front are the two quickest swimmers in the pool. So we're halfway through the race now. starting the back half. And Beeler actually pulling right up even with Gianni Carlino at this point as they get ready to make the turn through 800 meters. Starting block in. And Beeler 32.99 his last 50 to the 33.12 to Carlino. So Beeler is quicker. But not by enough at this point where he can really start to pull away. He's just pretty much staying even with Carlino. And there's another battle for third back in lanes 1 and 2. Brodsky in 1 and Dienstag in lane 2. Through 900 meters, Carlino still leads in lane 4. He was actually quicker that last 50 than was Beeler. 33.31 for Carlino. Beeler 33.44. Thousand meters now will be complete when Carlino and Beeler make the turn. And 10:59.90 through 1,000 meters for Carlino. And Beeler actually the fastest between the two. That last 50, 33.12 to 33.21 to Carlino. And as we're into the back half of the race, these two swimmers perhaps got to be a little cautious as they don't settle into a strategy where they just try to stay with one another and then just beat the other one at the finish. I mean, you don't, because this is a timed final. You know, the goal would be to get your fastest time that you could possibly go here. We see the swimmer in lane 2. Dienstag is broken away a little bit from Brodsky in that battle. Into a clear third is Dienstag. So 1,100 meters, Carlino's still the leader, and he's still a little bit faster than Carlino as well. Or, excuse me, faster than Beeler, who's just above him in lane 3. Lane 1 is at the top of the screen here at the IU Natatorium. Lane 8 at the bottom of your screen. This is heat 1 for the men in the 1,500. There are 5 men's heats in the 1,500. Four of them will be swum here in this prelim session. The 5th one with finals tonight. So it looks like Carlino, as he gets ready to go through the 1,200 meter mark of the turn this time at the starting block end, is opening up things by about a body length now over Beeler in the battle for the lead in the heat. as we get down towards the closing stages of this opening heat for the men in the 1500. Gianni Carlino, the leader, by just a little bit more than a body length over Matthew Beeler. Beeler in 3, Carlino in 4. As both swimmers get ready to make the turn at 1,300 meters. And the bell will sound next time for the leader, Gianni Carlino, at the starting block in. Really no battles now out in the pool as Carlino's beginning to pull away from Beeler. So Carlino will set the time to beat unless Beeler has a big sprint over the final 125 meters. There's the bell for the leader, Gianni Carlino, in lane 4. From Point Aquatics. Carlino is a 15-year-old. So Carlino coming up on a half a lap left in the race. 25 meters to go. Gianni Carlino win the opening heat here of the men's 1500. We'll alternate men's heats with women's heats here in this prelim session. It's actually a timed final session, I guess. But Gianni Carlino, the time to beat. Sets it at 16:30.68. Second place, Matthew Beeler, 16:34.61. Coming in third in the heat in lane 2, Samuel Dienstag in a time of 16:43.96. And he was from Nutria Aquatics. The rest of the swimmers finishing here in the heat. And see the times on the scoreboard. And that's going to bring us to heat one for the women in the 1500 meters. Four swimmers in this opening heat for the women. In lane 3, we have Lauren Murray. A 16-year-old from Team Greenville. In lane 4, Anna Jackson. Anna's a 15-year-old from Ensworth Aquatics. In lane 5, we have Catherine McCarty. McCarty, a 15-year-old from Edina Swim Club. That's in Minnesota. And in lane 6, we have Santa Peterson, a 15-year-old from Nova, Virginia. That's your 4 swimmers here in this opening heat for the women in the 1,500-meter freestyle. It's the metric mile. Once again, time finals. Four women's heats of the 1,500. 3 of them will be swum in this session. The other one during finals tonight. And your early leader here through 200 meters is going to be the swimmer in lane 4, Anna Jackson. As we take a look at the records in the women's 1,500, Mary Kate Pruitt set the meet record last year. 17:20.40 is the meet record. And your Olympic trial cut for the women in this event, 16:49.19. It's the final day of competition here at the IU Natatorium for the 2019 NCSA Summer Swimming Championships. Started on Tuesday, wraps up this evening. Now we've got 4 swimmers pretty much close proximity through 300 meters. You've got swimmers in lanes 4 and 6. That's Jackson in 4 and Peterson in 6, pretty much side by side. And then about a body length behind them in lanes 3 and 5, you have Murray and McCarthy. Lauren Murray and Catherine McCarthy. And we're in the opening stages, the front half of this race, so I would once again assume that the swimmers are right now trying to stay on their race strategy as best they can. Set themselves up for the back half of the race. Through 400 meters, the leader now is Santa Peterson in lane 6. 35.97 on that last 50. McCarthy in lane 5 was actually the fastest swimmer at 35.48. And now she's starting to move right up in between Murray, or I should say Jackson and Peterson. Is McCarthy moving right up between the two. Most swimmers, I think all 4 swimmers doing a good job of pretty much swimming in the middle of the pool. Probably not going to allow anybody to do any drafting, perhaps. McCarthy in lane 5, swimming along the lane line a little bit, perhaps trying to, if she can get up close enough to Jackson perhaps take a little drafting advantage, although Jackson's pretty much swimming in the middle of the pool. And as we come through 500 meters, all these 4 young ladies are pretty much right together. Peterson is officially the leader in lane 6. Fastest swimmer in the pool is continues to be Catherine McCarthy in lane 5, 35.80. It looks for her, like was her split on the last 50. In the 1500s, a 30 lap race at the pool. .600 meters complete. Peterson still the leader in lane 6 from Nova, Virginia. But McCarthy still fastest swimmer, 35.54 for McCarthy to a 35.85 for Peterson. And those two right next to each other, McCarthy in 5, Peterson in 6. Well, it looks like it's a three-way battle now as we come through 700 meters. Lauren Murray in 3, Catherine McCarthy in 5, and Santa Peterson in 6. Yeah, it looks like they've started to move away from the other swimmer who's in lane 4. That's Anna Jackson. So we're halfway through the race. .800 meters will be complete this time. I think Catherine McCarthy's going to grab the lead here. And she does. 35.86. Fastest swimmer in the pool is McCarthy. Second fastest is Murray in lane 3, 36.18. Peterson still hanging on to second place, though. Through 900 meters, McCarthy the leader by about a body length now in lane 5. And second place in lane 3 is Lauren Murray. 35.72 for McCarthy to a 36.46 for Murray. So McCarthy trying to open things up, perhaps break the other swimmers now. As we've gone through 900 meters. And we'll see if McCarthy is widening that advantage as she gets ready to go make the turn at the starting block end through 1,000 meters. Splitting that last 50, McCarthy 40.46. I'm not sure that's right because they've got Murray at 36.42. That's almost 4 seconds faster than, and that can't be right. That touchpad did not get McCarthy's correct split that last time. Because if Murray was 4 seconds quicker on that last 50, she would have gone around her. See if the score, if the touch pad will give the correct split this time for Catherine McCarthy, the leader through 1,100 meters. 36.17, that looks to be correct. And a 36.58 for Lauren Meyer in second place. So McCarthy is pulling away here on the back half of this race. This is heat 1 of the women's 1,500 meters. .1,200 meters now complete for the leader, Catherine McCarty from Edina. And continues to be quicker than second place Lauren Murray on these 50-meter splits. No battles in the pool at this point in time. Catherine McCarty in first in lane 5. Second place in lane 3 is Lauren Meyer. Third place in lane 6 is Santa Peterson. .1,300 meters complete now for Catherine McCarty. Next time by, she'll hear the bell at the starting block end. And she'll set the time to beat here in the women's 1500. So here comes McCarthy. She'll hear the bell this time when she makes the flip turn at the starting block end. Signaling 100 meters left in this race. She started to make her move into contention and then pull away from the rest of the field right around the 600, 700 meter mark. And then gradually has just been the fastest swimmer in the pool since then. So, Catherine McCarthy is going to win the opening heat of the women's 1500 in a time of 17:54.54. 17:54.44 for McCarthy. And Lauren Murray will finish in a time of 18:03.28, lane 3. Third place is Santa Peterson, finishing in a time of 18:13.49. So 17:54.44, the time to beat now for the women. Hosted by Catherine McCarthy. Well, the guys are up next with Heat 2 in the 1500. Full field here, 8 lanes, all 8 lanes being used. We'll set the field for you. Lane 1, Austin Millard, 16-year-old from Academy Bullet Swim Club. Lane 2 is Josh Anderson. A 17-year-old from Nation's Capital Swim Club. Lane 3 will be Daniel Morris, 17-year-old from Clovis Swim Club. Lane 4, Andrew Munson. Munson, an 18-year-old from Rockville Montgomery Swim Club. Lane 5, Thomas Pritchard. Pritchard, an 18-year-old from Carolina Aquatic Team. In lane 6, it's going to be Jonak Surprenant, 16-year-old from Rockville, Montgomery. In lane 7, we have David McIntyre, an 18-year-old from Ensworth Aquatics. And in lane 8, Logan Amatruda, a 17-year-old from Nova, Virginia. That's your lane assignments here. Heat 2 of the men's 1,500-meter freestyle, time to beat 16:30.68. So through the opening 200 meters here in the second heat. Lane 5 with the lead, Thomas Pritchard. Lanes 5, 6, and 7 right together here in this opening 300 meters. Thomas Pritchard in 5, Jonik Suprinant in lane 6, and David McIntyre in 7. As they come through 600 meters here, or excuse me, 300 meters. Pritchard still the leader in lane 5. So as we come through 400 meters, swimmers in lanes 5, 6, and 7 have pulled out to almost about a body length lead over the rest of the field in this opening 400 meters. Get you the 500 meter split next time by, the starting block in. As the time to beat is 16:30.68, posted by Gianni Carlino in the opening heat, the men's 1500 time finals. Through 500 meters, lanes 5, 6, and 7 almost dead even at the turn. Pritchard, the leader, out in a 5:23.77. Second place, McIntyre in a 5:24. Third place, Suprinant in lane 6 in a 5:24.03. Was there that's the 3 500 meter split times for those three individuals. As we're under 1,000 meters left now in this race. Let's see, when they complete 600 meters here, we'll see who's the fastest swimmer in the pool between these swimmers in lanes 5, 6, and 7. They look like they're almost identical. In proximity to each other as they make the turn at 600 meters. The fastest swimmer of the three is Suprinant in lane 6 with a 50-meter split time of the last 50 at 32.99. And he's the fastest swimmer in the pool. Second fastest swimmer in the pool is actually David McIntyre in lane 7 with a 33.01. All right, Suprinant in lane 7 is opened up maybe about a quarter of a body length lead over the other two swimmers. He comes through 700 meters. He splits a 32.37 on the last 50. And that is faster than the other two swimmers he's battling with. Pritchard split a 32.59 to the 32.96 of David McIntyre. We'll continue to watch who's the fastest swimmer in the pool here. And a good three-way battle for the lead. Through 700 meters, Suprinant leads, but the fastest swimmer in the pool is Thomas Pritchard in lane 5. 32.65 on that last 50 split compared to a 32.77 for Suprinant. So Suprinant had moved out to about a quarter of a body length lead over Pritchard, but Pritchard answered back. And actually may have taken the lead from Suprinant. And yes, he has. Thomas Pritchard's the new leader now down there at the far end of the pool. Through 900 meters, Pritchard the leader. Splits a 33 flat to the 32.80 of Suprinant. So then Jonik Suprinant, the fastest swimmer between the two on that last 50. And so far, those first two have not quite been able to break away totally from the swimmer who's in third in lane 7, David McIntyre. McIntyre still hanging within striking distance here through 900 meters. Through 950 now as they make the turn down at the far end of the pool, the north end of the pool. Get you the 1,000-meter split time this time by, again, the time to beat, 16:30.68. And Pritchard in lane 5 is going to be the leader at the 1,000-meter mark. 10:53.18 for him through 1,000 meters. 10:53.70 for Suprinant through 1,000 meters. And the 1,000-meter time for David McIntyre in third place in lane 7, 10:54.84. Thomas Pritchard, still the fastest swimmer in the pool in lane 5. This is heat 2 for the men in the 1,500-meter freestyle. Now it looked as though that Pritchard and Suprinant might have broken McIntyre a couple hundred meters ago, but McIntyre's right back up there with him. It's still a three-way battle for the lead in this heat as we come through 1,100 meters. Fastest swimmer in the pool is David McIntyre in lane 7. Splits a 32.77 that last 50, so I don't know whether his lane counter down there it urged him on a little bit by shaking that board up and down, or whether he got the cue from his coach. McIntyre did that it's time to go here. Great three-way battle for the lead here in Heat 2 of the men's 1500. Thomas Pritchard in lane 5, Jonik Suprinat in lane 6, and David McIntyre in lane 7. They come through 1,200 meters, just 300 meters left in the race, and David McIntyre has grabbed the lead in lane 7, splitting a 32.78 that last 50 compared to a 33.45 for Suprinat and a 33.49 for Pritchard. So McIntyre's up the wick now with less than 300 meters to go. McIntyre from Ensworth Aquatics. Really good back half swim here by David McIntyre in lane 7. He stayed right with his race strategy. The other two swimmers beside him there, Suprinat in 5 and Pritchard in 5, got out about a body length, maybe a body length and a half lead over him through about 700 to 800 meters. But Pritchard has answered back now, taking the lead with 200 meters to go. Pritchard's still the fastest between the three of them. He splits a 32.80 to a 33.31 for Suprinat and a 33.12 for Pritchard. So McIntyre is increasing his lead now. And he'll get the bell next time by at the starting block end. David McIntyre will. And McIntyre now opening up almost a body length lead over Thomas Pritchard, who's in second place in lane 5. Maybe more like 3/4 of a body length lead. Pritchard looks like he's closed in on that final 25 meters of that 100 as the bell has sounded for all three swimmers. The leader, David McIntyre, in 7, Pritchard in 5, and Suprinat in 6. Pritchard was actually the fastest swimmer in the pool on that last 50. Does he have enough to overtake David McIntyre on this final 100, that being Thomas Pritchard from Carolina Aquatic Team? All right, it seems to be a two-man battle here as we come up on a half a lap to go. McIntyre still leading in lane 7. Pritchard in second in lane 5. Close battle, though, for the win in the heat between the two. It's time to gut it out. Whatever you got left, you got to give it right now as we come inside the flags. Looks like Pritchard may have surged ahead here. And Pritchard will battle back on that last 100 and take the win in the heat in a time of 16:20.48, which is the new time to beat overall. Thomas Pritchard 16:20.48 takes the win in Heat 2 for the men in the 1500. Second place to David McIntyre, 16:21.02. And third place, Jonik Suprinat, 16:24.89. Fourth place, Daniel Morris in lane 3, 16:30.28. So the top four swimmers were all faster than the top time in Heat 1. But 16:20.48, the new time to meet in the men's 1500 by Thomas Pritchard. Next up will be Heat 2 for the women in the 1500 meters. Time to beat 17:54.44. Posted by Catherine McCarthy in the first heat. Give you the lane assignments here as they get going. All 8 lanes being used here in the second heat. In lane 1, we'll have Allison Kopak, a 17-year-old from Nation's Capital Swim Club. In lane 2 is Marin Kanzi, 14-year-old from Nation's Capital. Lane 3, we have Joanna Dorman. Joanna's a 17-year-old from CSP Tide Riders. In lane 5 is Ellie Braun. "17-year-old from Upper Dublin Aquatic Club" is Ellie. Lane 5 is Jessie Whalen, 17-year-old from Nova, Virginia. Lane 6, Mackenzie Brandt, 15-year-old from Suburban Seahawks Club. Lane 7, Virginia Keon, a 17-year-old from St. Croix Swim Club. And in lane 8, it'll be Piper Wood Prince, 14-year-old. Out of Chicago Wolfpack Aquatic Club is where Piper Wood Prince swims out of. That's your field here for Heat 2 of the women's 1,500-meter freestyle. And going right out after it here in lane 3 is Joanna Dorman. Pulled out to about a body length lead through 200 meters. Over the swimmer in lane 1, which is Allison Kopak. Again, the 30-lap race is the 1,500 meters. Top 3 swimmers here in these first 300 meters have really pulled away from the rest of the field, the other 5 swimmers. Dorman, the leader, in lane 3 is a little more than a body length ahead of second place in lane 1, Allison Kopak, and then about a body length back from Kopak to the third place swimmer in lane 2, Marin Kanzi. And then the rest of the field, good, I don't know, three body lengths or so or more behind the swimmer in third place, Kanzi. That only being through 300 meters, so the first 3 have really gone out at a much higher intensity and tempo than the rest of the field. Here in the second heat for the women in the 1,500-meter freestyle. See who's the fastest here at 400 meters between those top 3 that have broken away from the rest of the field. Dorman leads through 300 or through 400 meters in lane 3. 34.59 for her on that last 50. 34.64 for Kopak, who's in second, and a 34.63 for Kanzi, who's in third. So Dorman by about 5 100ths of a second, 6 100ths of a second, I guess. The fastest. 4 100ths, actually. Give you the 500-meter split this time by at the starting block end. Again, the time to beat from the first heat by Catherine McCarthy, 17:54.44. But that would put you in an overall lead. But these are time finals, so your time that you get in any one of these heats is then slotted in accordingly as compared to everyone in all the heats, as it's a time final. 500-meter split for Dorman, 540.12. 543.72 for Kopak in second, and 544.12 for Kanzi, who's in second. And then back in fourth place, almost 6 seconds behind third place at this point through 500 meters is Piper Wood Prince, who split a 5:50.54. Your leader in lane 3, Joanna Dorman from the CSP Tide Riders, is not trailed yet in this race. She went right out right away and continues to lead by more than a body length here through 600 meters. But I can tell you that Marin Kanzi in lane 2 was about a second quicker than Dorman on that last 50. So if she's able to keep that up, she's going to pull right up on Dorman pretty quickly. As Kanzi is pulling away from Kopak in lane 1 and now beginning to think about challenging Dorman for the lead. Let's see, Marin Kanzi. About 3/4 of a body length behind Dorman at this point as they both get ready to make the turn through 700 meters. Let's see if Kanzi's still quicker than Dorman. Dorman 34.45. And yes, she is. 34.26 for Marin Kanzi. And Kopak is falling at this point out of contention really in lane 1 for that battle for the lead between those first two after being in contention with them for the first 500 meters or so. And she was about, Kopak, I think through 500 meters was maybe a little more than a body length behind Dorman, but now well behind. In fact, fourth place in lane 8 actually. Piper Wood Prince is maybe starting to actually move in on Kopak in lane 1, but she's still maybe more than a body length lap and lead ahead of fourth place at this point. Dorman's still the leader. Going through 800 meters. And she was just a 100th of a second slower on that last split time as compared to second place Kanzi. Joanna Dorman. Coming through 900 meters. Splits the last 50 to 34.58 compared to a 34.99 to Marin Kanzi. So Dorman is the quicker of the two swimmers in the of that battle for the lead in the heat. And we're going to have a three-way battle, it looks like, here for third place. You got Allison Kopak in 1. And then in lane 6, Mackenzie Brandt. And in lane 8, Piper Wood Prince battling for third here. Looks like those two will battle for third over the course of the final 500 meters. But the top two, not quite a half a length ahead of the rest of the field. Thousand-meter split time here now for Joanna Dorman. 11:27.49 for her. 11:29.40 for Marin Kanzi, who's in second place. Moving into third now in lane 8 is Piper Wood Prince. And Piper, I think, is one of the three fastest swimmers in the pool at this point. So we have about a body length lead here for Joanna Dorman in lane 3 over Marin Kanzi. As Dorman makes the flip turn through 1,100 meters, splits the last 50 in a time of 34.96. Kanzi 35.15. And that battle for third now is a two-swimmer battle, lanes 6 and 8. Brandt and Piper Wood Prince. Between those two, Brandt's quicker, 34.68 for Brandt compared to a 34.86 for Piper Wood Prince. And so Dorman was going to come through 1,200 meters, about the same length lead as she's had the last couple hundred meters, just a little more than a body length lead. Dorman makes the turn at 1,200 meters, comes through to 35.38 for the last 50, compared to or 35.38 compared to a 35.28 for Kanzi. So Kanzi was a little bit quicker, but not enough to make a significant gain on her. Mackenzie Brandt's now in third in lane 6. She was 0.06 of a second quicker than Piper Wood Prince, who's in lane 8. That's the battle for third here in the heat. Time to beat again, 17:54.44 in the opening heat. All right, as we come up on 200 meters to go, if you're Marin Kanzi in second place, a little more than a body length behind Joanna Dorman, you would think it's time to go, time to start cutting into that gap. 200 meters to go. Looks like Piper Wood Prince in lane 8 has gotten by Mackenzie Brandt and has taken over third. She splits her last 50 to 34.16 did Wood Prince as compared to a 34.75 for Brandt. So she's upped her tempo a little bit. But back to the leaders, it does not appear at this point that Kanzi's making any significant gain on Dorman. As the bell will sound back at the starting block end for Joanna Dorman. Dorman a wire-to-wire lead at this point. Again from the CSP Tide Riders. A 17-year-old. And here's the bell for Joanna Dorman. 100 meters left. Kanzi gets the bell. And the bell for Piper Wood Prince in lane 8, who's in third place. So Dorman's not going to be caught here in Heat 2 of the women's 1,500 meter freestyle. It's going to be a wire-to-wire win here in the heat. Half a lap left for. And she's going to set the new time to beat as well. Joanna Dorman will stop the clock in the 1,500 in a time of 17:14.47. Second place in the heat to Marin Kanzi, 17:19.10. Finishing in third was Piper Wood Prince in lane 8 in a time of 17:23.97. Fourth place Ellie Braun, lane 4, 17:27.59. 17:26.80 for Mackenzie Brandt. And fifth place, Virginia Keon, 17:39.98. So the top 5 all quicker than the top time from the previous heat. That brings us to Heat 3 now for the men in the 1,500 meters. I'll give you the 8 swimmers here after the start. Lane assignments in lane 1, Trevor Carter. Carter, an 18-year-old out of Wheaton Swim Club in Illinois. Lane 2 is Andrew Columbus, 17-year-old from Edina. Lane 3, AJ Shepard, 17-year-old from Clovis Swim Club. Lane 4 is James Gavin, 17-year-old from Katy Aquatic Team for Youth. Lane 5 will be William Winnington, a 16-year-old from St. Croix Swim Club. In lane 6, Hector Paz, 16-year-old from Machine Aquatics. Lane 7, Sean Santos. He's a 15-year-old from Rockville, Montgomery. And in lane 8, we'll have Silas Crosby, a 17-year-old from Team Greenville. That's your lane assignments here for Heat 3, the men's 1,500 meters. The time to beat, posted by Thomas Pritchard. In Heat 2 is 16:20.48. And 30 lengths of the pool here, the 1,500. And the field all right together here, really, through the opening 200 meters. Much more strategic race here than we've seen some of the other 1,500-meter heats so far. Leader officially is Hector Paz in lane 6. And Hector Paz from Machine Aquatics still leading through 300 meters. William Whittington in second in lane 5, and third place James Gavin in lane 4. But all these swimmers right together here so far in this race. Really the 6 of the 8 within a quarter body length of each other, really. At 400 meters, Paz still the leader by 0.2 over William Whittington. We'll reach the 500-meter mark at this point when the swimmers make the turn at the starting block end. We'll see what they turn in 500 meters at. Hector Paz, leader at 500 meters, 5:26.49 to the 5:26.73 for William Whittington. Your time to beat is 16:20.48. This is a very strategic heat race here. We'll see that helps these swimmers or perhaps hinders their chances of overtaking the overall leader at this point, Thomas Pritchard, as we get towards the latter stages of the race, as everybody's gone out extremely strategic. Staying right on, I think, their race strategy at this point. All 8 right within striking distance as we come through 600 meters of each other. And William Whittington is the new leader. Whittington splitting a 32.90 or 32.82 on his last 50. He was not the fastest swimmer in the pool, though, In lane 8, Silas Crosby was at the 32.52. Be interested to see at some point will there be one of these swimmers try to make a move, try to test the rest of the field, see if they can get away from him. At this point, no one's made that move. We've got a new leader, A.J. Shepard, in lane 3 through 1,400 meters. Shepard, 32.48 on his last 50. And he is the quickest swimmer, at least at this point, the quickest swimmer in the pool. Shepard from Clovis Swim Club. And Shepard may be actually widening that lead a little bit, so perhaps he's the one made the move here in lane 3. As he gets ready to complete 800 meters, let's see if he's still the fastest in the pool. Shepard splitting a 32.48. That was almost identical to his last 50. I think it was identical, at least to the previous 100 50 split at this end of the pool, the starting block end. And yeah, Shepard's still the fastest in the pool. The second fastest was Santos in 7 with a 32.72 on that last 50. So Shepard right now in lane 3 really consistent on these 50 times, and he is the quickest swimmer in the pool. It's 32.47, so his last 3 out of his last 4 50s have been within 1/100th of a second of each other. You talk about knowing your race strategy and what you need to be holding. Shepard's doing that, and he's pulling away from everybody now. As he comes through, makes the turn at 900 meters. And his split time, A.J. Shepard, 32.88. He's second fastest in the pool. His fastest is Santos in 7 at a 32.67. But Santos is in second place, but he's more than a body length behind Shepard right now. Mm. 1,000-meter mark will occur at the starting block, and this time by 1,000-meter time for A.J. Shepard in lane 3, 10:53.66. In second place, Sean Santos, 10:56.11. In third place, in lane 5, William Whittington, 10:56.23. Your fastest swimmer in the pool that last 50, A.J. Shepard, 32.64, the leader in lane 3. 1,100 meters complete for A.J. Shepard. Splitting the last 50 to 32.89. Silas Crosby appeared to be quicker, who's now in second in lane 8, 32.68 for him on that last 50. Good freeway battle for second as we get ready to come through 1,200 meters. A.J. Shepard, your leader, by about 2 body lengths. Shepard splitting in that last 50, 32.81. Second place is Sean Santos in lane 7, splits at 33.05 for the last 50. Third place, Crosby splitting at 33.16. And fourth place, Whittington splitting at 33.04. So Shepard's pulling away from everybody, the leader. If that battles for second place, lanes 5, 7, and 8, Whittington in 5, Santos in 7, and Crosby in 8 your best battle here. Now, if anybody's going to make a move on Shepard, the leader, the time is now. Is A.J. Shepard about ready to make the turn at the starting block end? Through 1,300 meters, he's got 200 meters left. And his last 50 time, 33.19 for Shepard. 33.16 for Santos. And 32.86 for Crosby. Whittington at 32.97. That's your split times your top 4. Well, the bell will sound for A.J. Shepard at the starting block end here. .100 meters to go for A.J. Shepard, the leader from Clovis Swim Club in lane 4. 32.69 on his last 50. And he's not the fastest swimmer in the pool, but the fastest swimmer in the pool is actually in lane 4. James Gavin, 32.45, but I don't think he's in contention to catch Shepard. And maybe he can get in the battle for second, Gavin can, which would become a 4-way battle for second in the final 50 meters. Time to beat, 16:20.48. We'll see if A.J. Shepard can do that. So he comes up on a half a lap to go. We've got a move being made here in lane 7 and 8 with a half a lap to go here. We've got Sean Santos and Silas Crosby. They've made a big move in lane 7 and 8 trying to reel in Shepard, but Shepard breathing out of the right side, sees him coming, I think, as we come underneath the flags here. And I think Shepard is going to hang on and take the win in the heat. And he does it in a time of 16:21.06, which is not quick enough to overtake Thomas Pritchard. So Pritchard's going to maintain the lead, 16:21.06 for A.J. Shepard to win the heat from Clovis. Second place, Silas Crosby with a time of 16:21.62. Third place, Sean Santos, 16:22.26 gets third. Fourth place, William Whittington, 16:23.46. So with 2 men's heats left in the 1500. Thomas Pritchard, still your overall leader at 16:20.48. Heat 3 now for the women in the 1500 meters. This will be the final women's heat to be swum during this session. Lane assignments. In lane 1, Elizabeth Lohner. And she's an 18-year-old from Ole Swimming. That's in lane 2 will be Olivia Lindorfer, an 18-year-old from Santa Clara Swim Club. In lane 3, Kaylee Lovell, 15-year-old from Academy Bullet Swim Club. Lane 4, Chloe Freeman. Chloe's a 17-year-old from Sandpipers in Nevada. In lane 5 will be Ella Freeman, a 16-year-old from the Santa Clara Swim Club. In lane 6, Arabella Sims, 14-year-old from Sandpipers of Nevada. In lane 7, Nina Mullen, 15-year-old from Academy Bullet Swim Club. And in lane 8, Abby Tott, 16-year-old from Chicago Wolfpack Aquatic Club. That's your lane assignments here for Heat 3 of the women's 1500 meter freestyle. Time to beat is the 17:14:47 posted by Joanna Dorman in Heat 2. Opening 200 meters complete here, and the top two have tried to break everybody here in the first 200 meters. Arabella Sims leading in lane 6 from Sandpiper. And her teammate, Chloe Freeman, in lane 4 is in second place. So those, maybe a little team strategy here by the two Sandpiper of Nevada swimmers to try and take control of the race very early. We'll see if it pays off. Through 300 meters, lane 6 still the lead. That's Arabella Sims. Second place, her teammate, Chloe Freeman, in lane 4. 33.72 for Sims on that last 50 to 33.98 for Freeman, that being Chloe Freeman. And third place, well behind the front two at this point, Olivia Lindorfer in lane 2. And through 400 meters, nothing has changed. It's still those two Sandpiper of Nevada swimmers out in front of everybody else here through 400 meters. Sims in lane 6 and Chloe Freeman in lane 4. And both of those are faster than the swimmer, and both of those top two faster than the swimmer in third place at this point, at least on the split times. And that being Olivia Lindorfer in lane 2. Check the 500-meter splits here this time for the two Sandpipers of Nevada swimmers. In lane 6, Arabella Sims, 5:34.93 to a 5:35.76 for her teammate Chloe Freeman. Third place, Lindorfer, splits a 5:39.38. She's up in lane 2. Time to beat 17:14.47, so we'll keep an eye and try and track that towards the second half of this heat. .600 meters complete this time. Let's see who's the quickest amongst the top three. For Sims, a 33.86 split, 33.94 for Freeman. Lindorfer, 34.13. So continuing to be those two Sandpiper of Nevada swimmers are the quickest swimmers in the pool, and they are the top two at this point here in this heat in the women's 1500. Heat 3 of the women's 1500. .700 meters complete. Arabella Sims still the leader. And her teammate Chloe Freeman in lane 4 was 4/100ths of a second quicker than Sims. The last 50 split. Lindorfer still slower than the front two. Lindorfer in lane 2. So no one's showing any sign of moving in yet on those two Sandpiper of Nevada swimmers who have led this entire heat so far, the two teammates. Through 800 meters now. Sims is going to split her last 50 split time 33.66. Her teammate 34.19 for Freeman. So Sims a little bit quicker. Now as we approach the 1,000-meter mark, the question is going to be here in heat 3 of the women's 1,500 meters, is the final 500 meters going to be a match race, if you will, between the two Sandpipers of Nevada teammates. Chloe Freeman in 4 and Arabella Sims in lane 6. At 900 meters, Sims has now opened up about a body length lead over her teammate, Chloe Freeman. 33.96 the split for Sims and 34.54 for Freeman. So I think Sims is actually getting quicker here, or at least pulling away a little bit from Freeman. She's definitely quicker than her teammate. I know that much. Lindorfer in lane 2 is actually quicker now, at least on that last 50, than Chloe Freeman, who's in second place. They're going to come up on 1,000 meters here at the starting block end with this turn. There's the turn by your leader, Arabella Sims. 34.04 her last 50 split time. 34.59 for Freeman, so Sims is continuing to pull away. But Chloe Freeman was a little bit quicker than Lindorfer, so Lindorfer did not gain any on Freeman on that last 50. As your top three are well ahead of everybody else here in this heat. Sims 34.15. 34.49 for Freeman, her teammate, so Sims gains again. And at this point, it does not appear that Arabella Sims is going to come back to her teammate, Chloe Freeman. So Freeman's going to have to pick up the tempo and go get her. And with coming up on 300 meters to go, I would think the time is now for Freeman to start reeling in her teammate Sims. And actually, Freeman came in with a quicker seed time than did Sims. 300 meters to go for the leader, Arabella Sims. And about a little more than 3/10 quicker on that last 50 was Sims then Freeman. So consistently, Sims over the last 500 meters or so has just pulled away from her teammate. Chloe Freeman. So the time to beat, 17:14.47. That's what Arabella Sims is trying to beat here and move into the overall lead. So 200 meters left now for Sims, the leader in lane 6. Splitting a 35.53 for that last 50. So she's a little bit quicker, actually picking it up a little bit. I actually checked that 33.99 for Sims as compared to a 35.11 for Freeman. 33.78 for Sims. So she's getting quicker here on these 50s. Here's the end of this race. She's going to hear the bell this time at the starting block end. Here's the bell. 100 meters left for Arabella Sims from Sandpipers in Nevada. 34.12. So that 50 not quite as quick as the previous one. Here's the bell for Chloe Freeman in lane 4. And now the bell for third place in lane 2, Olivia Lindorfer. And Lindorfer was about a half a second quicker than Freeman on that last 50. I don't know if she's got enough time to make this a battle for second there. We'll have to wait and see. Nobody's going to catch Arabella Sims as she makes her final flip turn down at the far end of the pool here. 17:14:47 the time to beat. And she's going to clearly beat that. This has been a heck of a swim here by Arabella Sims. 16:40, the Olympic trial cut is 16:49.19. I think she may just fall a little bit short of that, but this has been a great swim by Arabella Sims, 16:50.43. And it's actually a new meet record for Arabella Sims, 16:50.43. And that's going to be a tough time to beat tonight. 16:50.43 for Arabella Sims. New meet record just off the Olympic trial cut. Second place, Chloe Freeman gets a 17:04.38. And third place, Olivia Lindor for 17:06.67. So the top three better than the previous time coming into this heat. So 16:50.43, a new meet record, will be the time to beat tonight, posted by Arabella Sims, a 14-year-old from Sandpiper of Nevada. Actually blew away the previous meet record. That was 17:20.40. All right, it's time for Heat 4 now. Now the men's 1500. Final heat for the men in this session. Lane assignments. In lane 1, Zach Wasmer, 17-year-old from Nova of Virginia. Lane 2, William Melsha. He's a 16-year-old. In lane 3 will be Charles Brenning, 17-year-old from Swim Houston Aquatics. Lane 4 will be William Coakley, 18-year-old from Katy Aquatic Team for Youth. Lane 5, Alec Enyart, the 15-year-old from Tsunami Swim Team of Kansas City. Lane 6, Lucas Conrads, 16-year-old from Fox Valley Swim Team. Lane 7, Jackson Dement, 16-year-old from Katy Aquatic Team for Youth. And in lane 8 will be Joseph Anderson, an 18-year-old from Clovis Swim Club. Time to beat for the men so far. Posted by Thomas Pritchard in the second heat, 16:20.48. Your leader through the opening 200 here in this heat is William Coakley from Katy, 204.94 out in his opening 200. At 300 meters here, you got lanes 4 and 5 right together. Enyart leads in lane 5, Coakley second in lane 4. Through 400 meters, William Coakley's taking the lead back from Enyart. Third place is Jackson DeMent in lane 7. Once again, the final heat for both the women and the men in the 1500. This is a time finals event will be swum tonight in the final session. That's the fastest seeded heat, but as we just saw in the women's heat 3, Arabella Sims with a new meet record has posted a time that's going to be tough to beat tonight. Doesn't mean it can't be beaten, but if it's beaten, it's going to take an Olympic trial cut to beat it, because the Olympic trial cut was 16:49.19 and it's a 16:50.43 for Sims. So through 500 meters now, 1,000 meters left. Coakley still leading, splits a 5:21.40 for the opening 500 meters. 5:21.65 for second place Alec Enyart in lane 5, Alec Enyart. And third place Jackson DeMent, splitting a 5:21.69 through 500 meters in lane 7. At 600 meters, about 3/4 of body length lead for William Coakley. 32.60 for his last 50. And let's see who was quicker. Yeah, several was quicker. Looked like Charles Brenning in lane 3 was the quickest there. 32.43 on that last 50. We'll go through 700 meters here with Coakley still leading. Brenning is pulled up to about a half a body length behind Coakley at this point. And Coakley was quicker though on that last 50, 32.22 for Coakley. Brenning in lane 3, 32.46. Coakley and William Coakley and Charles Brenning are the distance between first and second has really not changed over the last couple hundred meters as they go through 900 meters. Coakley leads, splitting at 32.52 on his last 50 to a 32.94 for Brenning. Coakley is the fastest swimmer in the pool right now. In lane 4, the leader. William Coakley from Katy. We'll check his 1,000-meter time at the starting block, and this time as he'll make that turn to complete 1,000 meters and have 500 meters left. William Coakley, 10:46.09. 10:47.22 for Charles Brennig. And third place, Alec Enyart, 10:51.07. 10:51.56 for Lucas Conrads, who's in fourth place. The time to beat, Thomas Pritchard, 16:20.48. Body length lead now for William Coakley through 1,100 meters. Splits a 32.27 for his last 50. 32.85 for Brennig. 32.65 for Jackson Dement in lane 7 in fourth place. And he's a little faster than Brennig. So 1,200 meters about ready to be complete for the leader, William Coakley, the 18-year-old from Katy. And if Brenning's going to make a move now, I think the time is now. He's fallen behind by about a body length and a half behind Coakley. Good four-way battle for third behind the top two here. The top two, William Coakley in lane 4 and Charles Brennig in second in lane 3. 200 meters to go for the leader, William Coakley. 37.66 for his last 50. I don't think that time is registered right because they have a 33.08 for Brennig. So I think that time off on the last 50 for Coakley, because Brenning did not appear to gain on him. On the last 50 down at the far end, 32.84 for Coakley to a 32.73 for Brennig. So that sounds a little more reasonable. So Brennig did gain a little bit, but not enough to make a significant dent so far in Coakley's lead as we come up on the bell lap here at the IU Natatorium. 2 lengths to go now in the men's 1500, heat 4. Coakley 32.64 to a 32.69 for Charles Brenning. So Coakley quicker by about 5/100ths. Time to beat 16:20.48. So William Coakley should take the lead in the competition. Here he comes. He's going to win the heat. We'll see what his winning time is. Winning time of 16:07.55 for William Coakley. And that'll be the time to beat tonight, 16:07.55. Second place in the heat to Charles Brennig, 16:11.77. That's second place overall right now. Third place, Jackson Dement, 16:16.33 in the heat, and that's third place overall. Fourth place, Zach Wasmer in lane 1, 16:18.55. Fifth place, 16:19.32 for Alex Enyart. So your top 5 were all faster than your top time heading into that heat. So 16:07.55 by William Coakley would be the time to beat in tonight's finals. We have one heat left for the women's 1500 and the men's 1500 to be swum tonight with finals here at the IU Natatorium. That's going to wrap up this session of swimming here, the 1500 meter session, if you will. And we'll be back for finals starting. First heat of finals tonight will start at 5:30. We'll be on the air here on the Indiana Swimming YouTube channel about 5:15, 5:20. So that'll wrap things up from this session. I'm Eric Eaton saying so long, everyone, and thanks for watching.